Hello, podcast world. Welcome to my channel. It's 12/15/2020, 3:43 p.m. And I'm here today to talk about fat versus big. It's fat versus having a stomach, it's a difference between someone who is fat or big or fluffy or is what's his name? Comedian Fluffy. English. I don't know what I said his name. Basically, I saw some of his stand up the other day on YouTube when I was looking at it, and he was talking about that he had 5 levels of fat or big or whatever, or being fat and whatnot. And he said he added a 6th one on there that was, oh hell no, And he was like, I'm fluffy, so that's where I am. And he was like, I recently come across somebody that made me be like, add a whole nother, a 6th category. And he was like, the oh hell no is like, you're on the elevator. He's on the elevator, and he saw this guy, and the guy gets the elevator. He's like, oh hell no, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I hope this isn't too much weight. And he was like, the guy, as he asked him, he was like, say man, how much do you weigh, And the guy was like 6'4", 640 pounds or something like that. And I was like, golly, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is he walking around, And that's a lot of weight, that's big and tall, there's a difference. Like for me, I'm just kind of fat, you know what I'm saying? I have a stomach. That's what I'm going to point out. And, but when he was talking about the oh hell no, it was like, oh hell no, there was a point in time, I don't know if you've seen the Simpsons episode where Homer was gaining weight, and he was like, they considered 300 pounds to be a disability, but now, they got these hover around chairs, so you go to Walmart or wherever or whatever, you can be as big as you want and just drive yourself around, you see a lot of that, and they're making it like that's okay when, like, oh my god, it seems kind of lazy. But, who am I, now, there's also a difference between, fat and big and tall and all that. Like, if you shop at the big and tall store, I understand, you got to think about, like, Eddie Murphy on the Clumps, you know what I'm saying, Nutty Professor. And you got to think about, he was talking about it's genetic, and he was like, based off of genetics, this is why, you're big or whatever. Then he came in with a potion, and it created Buddy Love, and he went after Carter Purdy, which was Jada Pinkett Smith. Good movie, like Eddie Murphy makes some great movies or whatever, like Coming to America and Harlem Nights, him and Della Reese and whatnot. So, be careful, you messing with a heavyweight, So just think about all of that. Those are factors that you have to factor in when it comes to someone's weight. Like, and I'm not here to body shame or any of that, Like, I remember back in the day, we had the dozens, like, Yo Mamas or whatever, There used to be jokes like, your mama's so dumb that they say it's chilly outside and she went and got a bowl. And I don't know if y'all remember on Baby Kids, but his ex-wife's friend Vivian or whatever. And, so yeah, it's crazy. Like, being big is always, like, back in the 90s and 80s, or late 80s, early 90s or whatever, we didn't have some of the stuff they got nowadays. Like, back in the day, all we had was, like, Richard Simmons telling you, you are somebody, people like you, all that. And they did these aerobic calisthenic workouts and whatnot. And everybody used to love that, Then coming up, you start seeing, like, Billy Blanks, and then you started seeing people talk about Zumba. And then, like, nowadays, they have the teas, the pills, the drinks, like, Yeah. They have the body trainers, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can put a body trainer, stomach trainer, or waist trainer or whatever around your waist, and it makes your stomach go down, your thigh trainer and all of that. Like, there are ways to cheat, it seems like, these days. And then now you come across people that are vegans and stuff that don't eat meat, and, you know, it's just a bunch of weird stuff. And, like, I know somewhere out there, millennials, you know, those little can't stand them. Like, anything that they don't like, they turn to the internet and start crying about it. You know, they're so sensitive and want everything to be so PC. And, you know, like, right now they're probably like, oh, he's talking about fat people or whatever. He's body shaming them and all of this and that. I mean, no, I'm not small, so I don't feel like. It's kind of like I seen on the Dave Chappelle stand up where he was like the lady, okay, illegal or something like that. Lady in legal calls him up and was like, "Oh, there's no way that you can use the word faggot," and he was like, "Well, okay, I won't use that," you know. Then he was like, "Well, why is it that I can say the word nigga with impunity, but I can't say the word faggot on the air," you know? And she was like, "Very simple, Dave. It's because you're not gay." And he was like, "Well, I'm not a nigga either." So, you know, so it's just, you know, anyway. But yes, like, you know that you too big when you look down and you can't see your private parts. Like, if you can't see your pussy and your dick, you know what I'm saying? Like, wow, you know, your thighs and done laps on it, all of that. You look down, can't see nothing. You got on the panic. Like, where did it go? You know, especially if you're a man and you're on full mast and that thing not poking out. If it's not poking out past your stomach and probably not going past your belly button, oh no, you have problems other than your weight. You might want to go get that checked out. Oh man, like it's a big clip, you know. So yeah, you know, these things are where we are now, and like, it's a difference. It's like, it's different levels of difference, whatever. Like, if you are about 5'9" and up, you know, 6+ and whatnot, as a female who's big, you like an Amazon. You like, you know, you really like a linebacker now. You know what I'm saying? You a lineman. Like, you like you trying to play football. And there's days where I feel like, oh man, I would lose so much weight. Because, I mean, there was a point in time where I was in shape, you know, and then time progressed and 30 hit. And the thing about 30 is like, you know, it's like 30 comes along and it's like the weather changes and you feel it and you're like, oh, my knees, my back, my neck, my back, you know what I'm saying? Your whole body is just in pain. And, oh, my arthritis or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And this has just come from all this lying around, watching Netflix, listening to music, eating, drinking, smoking, whatever you do, you know, Netflix, you know, Amazon Prime, Fire Stick, whatever, you know, sitting there YouTubing and talking on the phone, laying down and whatnot. If you're not, I feel like you're not active, you're not going to get, you know, anything out of it. You're just going to be a mass, gaining weight. Now, for me, I remember there was a point in time where I had somewhat of a flat stomach and my chest was poked out a little bit and my arms was like a little cut up. But it's like sometimes I go in the gym and people, the size of my stomach is the size of some people's arms. Like, if you go up to the, like, it's not the weight that's the issue, it's the way it's packed in there, you know? So, I know y'all will be wearing them girdles or whatever it's called, you know, trainers and whatnot, and look at it like this: you worried about trying to make your stomach go flat. Well, hey, there's other stuff that you can do. There's actual, you know, like workouts that you could do, you know, like, hey, do some crunches, you know, that'll help you out. And it just is what it is, you know. a lot of people be tripping on the big folk. Ain't really nothing wrong with you being big. It's just your, but it say BMI. It's how you're proportionate. Like me, I'm short. So when you got weight on you and you're short, it's packed in there. You know, like it has nowhere to go except for mainly your stomach. You know, they call it love handles for a reason. But if you come across someone, a chick or whatever, she got titties on the front and the back, then oh my god, you know what I'm saying? That's where you have to make that decision. Like, oh, what am I gonna do with all of this? You know? Oh, like I was watching a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it was earlier, some of his early works, and they he was in the mall, and they called the backup, and the guy that called the backup was like, be careful, messing with a big. I mean, he's one big son of a bitch. Oh man, it's pretty funny when he said that, especially since it's like an older '90s movie. So I was like, wow. And then, but yeah, that's a different type of big, you know. Like if you're a professional athlete big, you know, it's like, oh my god, you know, you can't be like, oh, you see some people like, oh, they're like Samoan big or, like Yokozuna big, you know, like, oh, E Honda big, you know, so. You got out there, you got you like a sumo wrestler, you know, like, man, that's not what you want. So, and then you got, I mean, for me, my thing is to be able to pick her up. If she is, like, even, like, some people are just weak. So, if your chick 200 pounds and you can't lift her up, it's not that she's fat, she's thick, you know what I'm saying? She's thick, you know? So, you know, like that. It was the difference. It's all, like, all types of bodies or whatever. And, you know, like I say, it just depends on if you're fat, you'll know. And, or do you just have a stomach? Like, all your key weight is in your stomach. Like, especially after this whole coronavirus and pandemic or whatever, and you just, you know, you had a stomach before, you know. Now it's like somebody look at you and they can't tell if you pregnant or just had a baby, you know. And like even after, like I say, kids will mess your body up, and then you get out there and you like, oh my god, I done gained like 50 pounds. 40, 50, 30, 40, 50 pounds, and you're like, well, you know what I'm saying, I gotta get active or whatever, get in the gym or whatnot, whatever the case is, so I can lose some of this weight, you know, get back to my size, help my body snap back. And then, you know, that's just you know, the difference between fat and a stomach. But you gotta also look at it like this. You got some people that are, they have weight on them, but it's good weight, you know, like you see The Rock or whatever, tall, muscular, you know what I'm saying? That's one big son of a bitch. And you see the Arnold Schwarzenegger or whatever, tall or whatnot, muscular, that's one big son of a bitch, you know? That's the only thing you think of, you know, like the weight is proportionate, I guess, and it's going somewhere. It's not like, oh, where does all this weight go? You know, what are you doing all that? Like, dang, you got a lot of weight on you, don't you? And so, I would just like to say this. I feel like back in the day, one of my favorite comedians or whatever when it came to roasting people was Robin Harris. And he talked about oh, test tube, baby, you know what I'm saying? And I really was upset that when it came time for him to do his to be in House Party 2 when it came out, they did like his cameo was him, a picture of him, you know. It's like, dang, you know, can't believe he passed. And then like I just knew they were going to do another Baby Kids, you know. Baby Kids is a classic You know, like I don't think they could ever do a remake to it or anything, but it was like a classic movie. It's like if you grew up in the '90s and whatever, and you didn't see Babyface Kids, ah man, like we went to the movies to see that. I'll never forget because it's so funny. Um, but yeah, R.I.P. Robert Harris. You know what I'm saying? He's out of there. Then you got other people like Chris Farley. You know, he was one of the great big people or whatever in on Saturday Night Live, and he did several different movies or whatever where he was great in, and you know between him and like his sidekick was always like David Spade. So you had Tommy Boy and Black Sheep, and he played in some of Adam Sandler's movies or whatever, like Billy Madison, and you know, R.I.P. John Candy or whatever. He was hilarious back in the day, you know, in the 80s and 90s or whatnot. I remember he had his little Camp Candy cartoon or whatever. Oh, yeah, those were the times. Memories. But at the end of the day, when it comes to weight and being considered fat and whatnot, it's whatever you're comfortable with, you know. You can't let anyone tell you that, you know, anything that you don't want to hear. Just go with it, you know. But I would encourage anyone and everyone, if you're too small, gain you some weight. Which is harder because, like I said, genetics, you got hypermetabolism, whatever. You eat. And it just seems like, oh man, there's people out there that wish they were bigger and just can't gain weight, and they got to take like creatine. While you have those who don't want to be big and are tired of being the tallest, biggest. It's a female, and she's she's a NBA player. You know, like she's NBA player size. Like nobody wants that. Nobody, you know, like oh my god, it's like Amazon. You know, like guys. Even tall guys want short women, so for her to be big and tall, it's gonna be friction there. It's gonna be like turned off by that. So yeah, so I feel like, but you gotta think about a lot of cases or whatever where being big seems to make you have become a diabetic. And at the end of the day, it's always about the quality of life, you know. Like you don't want anything bad to happen to you. You want to be healthy, you know. You want to be comfortable in your own skin. So, you know, I feel free to. Like it's times where I get up and I be like, dang man, I wish I was the type that worked out. So I could go like for a bare minimum, walking around my apartment in the morning, or go for a walk at any point in time. Like right now, it's not that point in time. It's the you know the month of December, so you know it's cold out there. Yeah, like the first what's the word? The first oh you know this is like the first of it getting cold. And like winter is coming up. The first day of winter is coming up like soon. Alright, well, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on Twitter, and follow me on Twitch. That's where it's at, the gaming zone. And don't forget, you know, thumbs up. And I'll definitely see y'all tomorrow. Hopefully, you know, this isn't I had recorded something else, but it deleted, and it was way better. It's funny and everything. But, you know, you get what you give or whatever you put into it. And, you know, share it to a friend, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll see y'all later. Peace. Hello YouTube world, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I drop hot content like this, and stay tuned for the next video.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.